Hello to you Shadow Priests out there tuning in. So coming this Tuesday, as you guys saw from my dramatic intro there, Shadow Priests are getting nerfed. And I don't think they're game-breaking nerfs. Like, I don't think Shadow will be terrible after these nerfs, but they are pretty significant. It's going to hurt Shadow a bit, I do believe. So let's go over the nerfs. I'll give you guys my opinion on them and, you know, let you guys know what I think will happen with the new meta after this. And let's dive right in here. So first things first, probably one of the most brutal nerfs out of all these nerfs that are coming. Focus Will provides 10% damage reduction for Shadow, down from 15%. So coming this Tuesday, every single person will be hitting you for 5% more damage. Every single person. So you already know what it's like to play a Shadow Priest in Solo Shuffle, in Arena, and Battlegrounds. You're the kill target 99.17% of the time. You're going to get tunneled by melee. Demon Hunters, DKs, Warriors, they're going to be all up in your grill. And now all of them are doing 5% more damage. That's not a good thing to hear. I do not want to be hearing that as a Shadow Priest, but it is what it is. They already nerfed our healing by a bunch last patch. And this is probably the roughest one out of all this bunch of nerfs. I'm not a big fan of that one. The reason why Focus Will is in the game to begin with, because they know priests take immense damage compared to the other Clothies, because other Clothies have way better defensive options, right? Like mages have like 3 freaking shields, ice block, blinks, you know. Warlocks have port, shield wall, and you know what I mean. Okay, Mind Blast damage decreased by 15%, Shadow only. Mind Flay damage increased by 15%. This includes Mind Flay Insanity, but not the proc from Idol of Cthulhu. Mind Spike damage increased by 15%. Void Torrent damage increased by 15%. That's an interesting one. Devouring Plague damage increased by 15%. So you guys think these might be buffs, but I'll show you why they're nerfs in a second. These changes are aimed at improving Shadow's single target DPS. The change to Focus Will is a targeted change for PvP to reduce Shadow's survivability. So, like I was saying, that Focus Will nerf's gonna hurt. You're gonna get tunneled by melee. You're gonna be the kill target. You're gonna be taking 5% more damage from all sources starting Tuesday. Alright, let's go down here. So, because these buffs are for generally PvE, they had to come down here and level them out even more. So Shadow Word Death damage reduced by 30% in PvP combat for Shadow only. So last patch, you guys know Shadow Word Death was nerfed by 20% in its damage. Blizzard came out the gate and said, hey, let's do another 10% damage on top of that. So Shadow Word Death is 30% reduced damage starting Tuesday. Mind Blast damage reduced by 25% in PvP combat. So with the PvE buff of 15% to Mind Blast, and then this 25% reduction in PvP combat, we're getting a 10% reduction to Mind Blast essentially, right? You know, because obviously 15 minus 25, you're left with negative 10. So we're going to be doing 10% less damage on Mind Blast, 10% less damage on Mind Spike. Devouring Plague damage reduced by 25% in PvP combat. So if we go up here, 15%, it's another 10% reduced damage on Devouring Plague. Vampiric Touch damage reduced by 5% in PvP combat. It was increased to 10% last patch. So I guess Blizzard wants to buff Shadow Priest damage for PvE, but not for PvP. That seems to be the case here. So now it's reduced by another 5%. They're nerfing our hardest hitting dot, our main ability. That sucks. And these two are even more brutal. With the 5% nerf to Focus Will, we'll be taking more damage. And everyone's going to know, obviously, about the Focus Will nerf. So Shadow Priests are just going to get tunneled to the ends of the earth in any arena match, any battleground, any solo shuffle rounds. With that being said, Priest is already a kill target. they don't have a lot of windows to free cast in, and now our instant cast damage procs are getting nerfed by 25% also. So the windows where we do have the ability to squeeze out some instant cast damage, now that's reduced also. So I'm not gonna lie, these nerfs are pretty, I don't want to say brutal, but they're significant. Like, the proc rate for Shadowy Insight has been reduced by 25% while in PvP combat. The proc rate for Surge of Darkness has been reduced by 25% while in PvP combat. So our instant cast procs are just gone. Like, a 25% reduced nerf. I mean, I'm being dramatic saying they're just gone, but that's significant. 1/4 of the time, your procs are procking less now. Developers know Shadow Priest has been wildly overperforming, so we are looking to offset recent PvE buffs to them and reduce their power defensively through changes to focus will. We're also reducing their instant proc damage available, as we feel Shadow Priests do not have to hardcast spells as often as we would like them to. Well, they can't to begin with. Like, does Blizzard not know? Like you're. Yeah, these nerfs are annoying. Like, the Mind Spike and Instant Mind Blast procs that we get are because we're getting tunneled, we're kill targets. Like, those are little windows between micro CCs and stuns, and trying to kite and rotate your defensives wisely. The added stress to that with these nerfs, I feel like Shadow's not going to be as popular now. You're going to see a little dip in Shadow Priest play. You're not going to run into them as much now because these nerfs to their survivability, it's brutal. And there's one thing I should point out, is that they buffed Mind Flay damage by 15%. So think about that for a second. They left Mind Flay alone. They didn't nerf the damage. They buffed it by 15%. So this is one of the only buffs we have, really, besides the Void Torrent buff. So Mind Flay deals 15% more damage. That's interesting, right? Because Mind Flay is the direct damage that you channel for filler, and you don't really want to cast that in PvP, and you're not going to really have windows to cast it in PvP. Like, if you're playing a threes match and you're being tunneled by a freaking TSG or something, you're going to get instantly kicked on the Mind Flay, right? Like, it's just, I don't know, it's weird, the direction Blizzard wants Priest to go in, Shadow Priest. I don't think that's a significant buff at all, really. I mean, sure, that'll be good in rated battlegrounds where you can sit in the back and cast Mind Flays on people. 15%'s nice there. And they buffed Void Torrent damage by 15% too. The thing with Void Torrent is that the same thing I just described with Mind Flay. You can't cast them in front of melee. You're going to get CS'd on it. You're going to get kicked. You're going to get stopped from casting Void Torrent. Even if there's no kicks up, you're going to get micro CC'd, like a 0.5 second stun, and it's going to get interrupted, right? And with that being said, why would you play Void Torrent over Damnation? Especially now after our survivability got nerfed and our instant damage got nerfed. Everyone's going to be running Damnation, right? Like, that's going to be a must-have talent in my opinion now. Like, I know a lot of the rank 1s will play a Void Torrent and stuff, but they're rank 1s. They have partners that will CC and give them windows to nuke, right? Most of us players out there don't have rank 1 partners to play with. They're not going to have those awesome-ass windows where we can free cast. You know what I mean? Like, you guys know what I'm saying. Like, it's just, I don't know. They buff in the direct damage that you have to channel, which is kind of like copium on Blizzard's part. Like, oh yeah, we're nerfing their dot damage, we're nerfing their Mind Blast damage, we're nerfing their instant procs, but we're gonna buff the direct damage at the same time with Void Torrent and Mind Flay. I definitely feel like there's no developers out there that play Shadow Priest. That's for sure. Because I don't know how well these buffs will fare out. I'll try playing Void Torrent in Arena and give it a little whirl when these nerfs hit. And I'll try making, maybe a Mind Flay Insanity type of build. But like I try playing those type of builds in solo shuffle and in threes, and it's very hard to pull off. Like I'm saying, I know some rank 1 Shadow Priests out there, they run Void Torrent, but they also have, 2 other rank 1s in their group to peel for them and make excellent setup windows. And you guys know what I'm saying. Like, the casual PvPer, the casual Shadow Priest player like you and me, who just sit around Elite or Duelist and whatnot, may be glad. It's going to be a challenge, for sure. So we'll see how it plays out. Let me guys know what you think about these nerfs. And once the nerfs come out on Tuesday, I'll mess around with some builds, and I'll make a video if I think there's one that's very strong after the nerfs. But I doubt it. I just don't think Void Torrent Mind Flay builds will work in this meta right now. It's such a melee heavy meta, So we'll see. I don't think all is lost for Shadow Priest, but this hurts, right? Keep in mind that our healing got nerfed last patch too. We did get a buff on flash heal by 10%, but what good's that when you're right? So, alright, well, till next time, guys, thank you for tuning in. And like I said, leave a comment below. I want to hear you guys' opinions. Am I being dramatic? Do I have a 1300 take? What do you guys think? I don't know. Anyways, till next time, guys. And remember, let the void consume you. Okay? Deuces.